guys, the holiday of Shavuot is right around the corner. And that means three things: stuffing our face with cheesecake, staying up all night, and receiving the Torah. But here's a little something that not a lot of people are talking about. But this tradition that we have of eating copious amounts of cheese, it's just a tradition. There is no halacha, and there's definitely no kedusha. There is no holiness around this practice. It actually goes against the Torah. It goes against this process of us trying to also clean ourselves out and receive the Torah. But don't take it from me. Let's go into the sources. 1. Tzaar balei chayim, right out of the Torah. The Torah tells us, if you see your enemy's donkey carrying a heavy load, help the motherfucker out. Throw him a bone. You know, it even says in Hebrew, azov tozav. It says the words twice. It says release him from that load. So it's kind of like God's the original vegan activist holding a sign that's like, please release the heavy load. And what's interesting is that the Rambam, the famous 12th century sage Maimonides, who kind of like wrote Judaism in many ways, he says, don't get confused. The suffering of an animal is the same suffering as a human, that they're actually equatable. And so that means that in the dairy industry, when mothers and calves are separated right after birth, they're actually stolen, they are dragged away. That suffering that mother cow feels from her child being ripped away from her is the same suffering that a human mother feels just hours after she gives birth if her baby were to be ripped out of her hands and stolen from her. Whoa, like if there was a microphone in the 12th century, like that would be a mic drop. Thank you, Rambam. And the Gmara takes it one step further. The rabbis there teach us that those who have mercy for beings down here, the heavens have mercy on him. They even say that those who don't have mercy on beings down here, the heavens don't have mercy on him. Ouch. It's not about crime and punishment, right? It's about understanding that what we do here creates real vibrations. It creates real realities, whether above or below, or both at the same time. And that means that we have a moral responsibility to be aware of where our food comes from and what that supply chain looks like. Because these days with animal agriculture, it's a supply chain. It's not moral. It's not ethical. It's factory. It's slavery, honestly. And it's systematic and it's industrial. And it's not allowing the animals the ability to be their own and for us to see them as creatures. And Rabbi Nachman even takes that further and says that what we put in our body, mamish, becomes us, right? Like if I'm putting a steak that has suffered into my body, that is turning into the cells that end up becoming my eyeball, that end up becoming part of my brain cells. And he warns us of this. It's like, don't we have enough intergenerational trauma to deal with? Like, I don't want to deal with calf trauma too. And so there is a responsibility there. And unfortunately, in these industries, there's massive trauma and there's massive suffering. Even just with our eggs, it's not just about frying an egg, right? Like, what is behind frying an egg? There are actually hundreds of thousands of chicks that are being culled, that are being ground alive because the egg industry has no need for male chicks. And so we have a moral responsibility to be aware of that and to make a difference. And I know this is heavy, like, don't shoot the messenger. I don't want to share this Torah. Like, it's hard for me too. It's not fun. I don't want to tell anyone what to eat and what not to. But the Torah is asking us to. The Torah is asking us and pleading with us to be responsible human beings, to be responsible creations, right? And so I believe in you. Like, we can do this. It is whether we just do 1 week out of the month that maybe we're plant-based, or just one chag, just this Shavuot, go for plant-based recipes. If you have not tried the vegan cashew cheesecake yet, like, it is mamish olam haba. Like, it is tam gan eden. And for those who want to celebrate the real depths of this holiday, right? According to the Torah, this holiday was about bringing over 2 loaves of bread to the Beit HaMikdash. So why don't we make 2 loaves of some sourdough bread, put some cranberries and walnuts in it, slice it up, smear some vegan goat cheese. I bought some last week. I don't know how they do it. It like actually tastes like goat cheese. put some marmalade, some coffee with like oat milk. It like really hits the spot with a cappuccino. And like, it's heaven. I spoke to Eve about it. She's like,
Yeah, that tastes better than the forbidden fruit.
so give it a try. I believe in you. We can do this. We got this. Like, especially like y'all observant fellows, like if you can refrain from going to the beach on Shabbat, then you can refrain from an omelet. Like I promise you, lentil omelets, mushrooms, tomatoes, and green onions, just as good. We got this, guys. Chag Sameach.